on.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another thrilling episode of the day's Grimm Deaths of the Month edition.
February Fatales.
My name is Brian Michael Day.
My name is Thomas Grimm.
How are you?
I'm doing all right.
So we are kicking this Deaths of the Month episode off early this month. I'm super pumped on it, as I know you are, Tom. As I know the listener and or viewers are, because this is... I don't know. Like, this is a unique thing that we do, and I don't think anybody else is out here really doing it. That being said, so we're going to do the same thing that we always do, every Death of the Month episode, where we read off 5 deaths of the month. And then at the end, we're going to kind of have a discussion and or arm wrestle over which ones we think should be placed where. And then, honestly... I think there's a future where we like take all of our number ones and we do something fun with them one day, but here nor there. So that's kind of the gist. And the 5 we have this week are titled Iron Mike, the Botched Execution. Also, these are not in order that we're ranking them yet. And then we have the Hawaiian Skirmish, the Grand Mort, and the Toxic Lady. So those are the 5 that we're going to get into today. If you're familiar with any of these names or nicknames, buckle up. And
a lot of these all come from February.
All of them, right?
Yeah.
That is crazy work that you're doing that now. This is a weird thing that you're into.
Yeah.
Somebody
told me that I should add in like somebody that's born from that month from history. Like 5 deaths and a birth.
Almost like a feast day.
Yeah.
On the day that you know that we're going to air this episode, you could do like a feast. Oh my, that's so awesome. Because you know how like feast day for saints are like normally on the day they die?
I don't know shit about saints.
Oh, okay, well, okay. Never mind.
I'm not in the religious circle jerk anymore.
I get it. I get it, dude. I get it. Okay, so anyways, the long-awaited February Deaths of the Month. Let's kick it off.
This is death number 1.
One, Iron Mike. This is per wikipedia.org. You guys know, you know it, you love it. We use this website often. Here we go. Michael Malloy, or Malloy, however you choose. Born 1873. I guess they don't have a date for when he was born. Died February 22nd, 1933. Here we go. Nickname Mike the Durable, or Iron Mike, was a homeless Irishman from County Donegal who lived in New York City during the Roaring 20s and the 1930s. A former firefighter and stationary engineer, he was murdered by a group of 5 acquiescences. God, why am I going acquiescences? What is happening?
I don't know.
I had a stroke just now.
Yeah.
After multiple failed attempts on his life by the men who perpetrate life insurance fraud. So we kind of go on, and
you can just skip his background.
Yeah, I'll pick up where...
He was an unemployed alcoholic homeless man. There you go.
Yeah, in a stationary, whatever they called it. So anyways, here we'll get into the failed murder attempts. Tony Marino owned a speakeasy and gave Malloy an unlimited tab, thinking the alcoholic Malloy would abuse it and drink himself to death. Although Malloy drank for a majority of his waking day, it did not kill him. Nice, dude. Nice. Marino then added antifreeze to Malloy's liquor, but Malloy would continue to drink no problems. A possible explanation for the antifreeze not killing him is the fact that ethanol blocks absorption of ethylene glycol in the liver, parentheses, and is used as one possible antidote for antifreeze poisoning. I did not know. That is interesting. So I wonder if you could drink antifreeze and then just slam a bunch of liquor. Or does it have to be
like pre-liquor ingested before the antifreeze?
Or simultaneously? That I did not know. That is
if things keep going south, maybe we try it.
Yeah, dude. So
I call dibs on doing the antifreeze first and then the liquor because I think I would die. And you can do liquor and then antifreeze and watch me die.
The group of men gave Malloy raw oysters soaked in wood alcohol. Yeah, wood alcohol. The idea apparently coming from.
You missed. They tried other things too.
I just saw antifreeze a bunch of times. Antifreeze was replaced with turpentine, followed by horse liniment, and finally rat poison. All being mixed in. After these mixtures failed to kill Malloy, Marino mixed shots of wood alcohol in with his normal shots of liquor. This did not kill Malloy, presumably because the normal liquor helped negate the methanol poisoning. So then we get into that same group of gentlemen. Then gave Malloy raw oysters soaked in wood alcohol. The idea apparently coming from Pasqua, I don't know how you say that, who claimed he saw a man die after eating oysters with whiskey. A sandwich of spoiled sardines mixed with poison and carpet tacks, golly, was then tried. Concluding that it was unlikely that anything Malloy ingested was going to kill him quickly enough before the insurance policies ran out, the group decided to freeze him to death. Jesus. On an extremely cold night, after Malloy drank until passing out, he was carried to a park, dumped in the snow, and had 5 U.S. gallons, or 19 liters for the Europeans, of water poured on his bare chest. However, shortly thereafter, Malloy was rescued by police who took him to a homeless charity where he was reclothed. There's more. The group then attempted to kill Malloy by running him down with Green's taxi, moving at 45 miles an hour, or again 72 kilometers an hour for the Europeans. This put Malloy in the hospital for 3 weeks with broken legs. The group presumed he was dead, but they were unable to collect the policy on him. Good. Look at this poor piece of shit. Jesus Christ. Oh my God, this is brutal. If you're watching on screen, we may have to edit that out. I don't know. That's brutal. Okay, so murder and legal proceedings. On February 22 of 1933, after he had passed out for the night, the conspirators took Malloy to Murphy's room, put a hose in his mouth that was connected to the coal gas jet, and turned it on. This finally killed Malloy, with his death occurring within an hour. He was pronounced dead of lobar pneumonia and quickly buried. I bet it was quick.
That's crazy.
With Dr. Frank Mazzella signing the death certificate. Holy dog shit.
Yeah, dog.
Oh my God.
I read this and I was like,
let me take a sip after that. Your thoughts?
Dude, wild. Like, I mean, like, how many failed murder attempts do you have to have before, you just give up?
Can we...
You want to tally them or something?
Before we go... No.
I want to know...
Before we go to the next one, what prompted these gentlemen to take a life insurance policy out on this Mr. Michael Malloy?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What cued this thought where they were just like...
He was homeless and they wanted to get money.
That's literally the definition of fucking fraud.
Corrupt insurance agents.
This is the part you had me skip.
Yeah, but a corrupt insurance agent let them put a life insurance policy on him, which equated to $3,500 at the time, or basically $85K in today's time.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a small chunk of change.
No.
But is it worth...
Split 5 ways? That's not a lot.
Yeah, and then with the potential to go to prison? I don't know what insurance fraud, how strict it was back then. I'm sure it was pretty loosey-goosey, I would assume, back in the roaring 20s. You didn't really give a fuck.
Right.
Find dead bodies in the street all the time.
Yeah, and there's not there's not DNA.
Dude, I have, hold on, scroll, go back down to the picture of dead Malloy. This fucks me up bad, dude. Oh, so they did get arrested. Okay, sick. I'm glad they finally got what they had coming. Malloy's body during his autopsy. So what's really fucked up is like, okay, you can scroll away. I'm gonna have fucking night terrors now. What's really fucked up about the way they did it was the poisoning, the gas poisoning, right?
Yeah.
So have you ever seen like autopsy photos of people that have died
No,
from
I don't
like
look at any of that stuff.
carbon monoxide?
Don't look at any of it.
It will fucking ruin you. Because it like exactly why he looks like he was beaten to death.
Right.
It's because you bloat and everything
Right.
Oh God, it's fucking dark. Okay. So that's Iron Mike. Death number 1. Now, if you guys have had enough, I assume it's only going to get worse. So, you know, or maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But now we're going to go into to nzherald.co.nz. And this is the gruesome beheading of Mary, Queen of Scots. For sure, this is about to get worse.
Yeah,
okay.
this is a photo of her.
Beautiful lady, real not bad looking gal.
Yeah. This is just like
Well, let's get a snippet of who she is. So when Mary of Scots was beheaded, this is straight into it. Was beheaded. Her execution was absolutely horrendous, even by 16th century standards. Mary was beheaded at Fotheringhay Castle on February 8, 1587, following 19 years of imprisonment for her role in a plot to murder her cousin, Queen Elizabeth. Uno.
If anything we've learned from these deaths of the month, don't plot to kill the crown.
Just fucking do it or don't.
Right.
Jump in or don't. Don't
Don't even think about it. Just do it.
Fucking, I don't like this guy.
Not
Bow!
good.
You know what I mean? So here we go. We get into Mary, who was 44 at the time, was executed on orders of Elizabeth for her part in what was known as the Babington Plot. Ooh, cool fucking name, though. Babington Plot.
Again, read by Catholics.
Dude, shout. Big shoots to the...
And she got busted the same way. Letters said to be from Mary apparently sanctioned the assassination of her cousin, and once the letters were discovered, she was put on trial for treason.
Dude, I'll tell you what, that treason's a real motherfucker.
Yeah, then you know, we go, this is all just like backline, timeline.
Get me to the meat and potatoes that we were talking about.
They did a pointless trial right here.
Here we go. Okay, here we go. So while a beheading seems like a horribly gruesome death by today's standards, back in the 16th century, it was considered an easy option compared to the other methods, such as being hung, drawn and quartered.
Like last month's.
Hell yeah, dude. Big shoots to that guy. Elizabeth's mother, Anne Boleyn, had been beheaded by a skilled swordsman, a special privilege for a former queen. In England, there was no crime considered worse than trying to betray the crown. If you were foolish enough to betray the crown, what kind of execution could non-royalty expect? Being hanged, drawn, and quartered is probably as bad as an execution can get, and it wasn't unique to England. It was practiced across Europe. Also, I don't love how they spelled practiced with an S.
Yeah.
Just fucking, God, that fucking pisses me off as an English guy. Anyways, first the victim was hanged by the neck until they were almost dead. Then they were pulled behind a horse to their execution, which involved, quote, quartering. If you really want details, you can look it up yourself, but plainly speaking, it meant that people were cut into several pieces, often beginning with one's genitalia.
I think they're doing that nowadays.
Fuck. Okay. Mary was spared the worst of the worst executions, but regardless, her beheading was horrific. Witness Robert Winkfield later wrote about the execution. First, she was forced to strip down to her underwear in front of dozens of witnesses. As she approached her executioners, one of the servants blindfolded her, so her final moments were in darkness. Witnesses claim the former queen had to spend time feeling around for the block so she could place her chin upon it, ready for the axe to fall. But sadly for Mary, her beheading would not be quick and easy. One executioner held her down while the other lifted the axe, but he missed, and the blade didn't go straight through her neck, forcing him to strike again. Mary apparently made a very small noise or none at all, and not stirring any part of her from the place where she lay throughout the execution. After 2 blows, Mary's head wasn't completely severed, so the executioner had a third go at it to try and cut the one little gristle. That's a direct quote, one little gristle that was attaching her neck to her body. Third time, luckily, he lifted Mary's head for all to see and proclaimed, quote, "God save the Queen." Wingfield also noted when the executioner removed Mary's clothing, he noticed Mary's small dog had been hidden under her dress throughout the ordeal. The dog was said to be so distressed, it laid down in its dead mistress's blood, which had formed a puddle on the floor. Now, you had a fun tidbit about this.
Yeah. The queen had not the queen, Mary had a wig on. So after they chopped her head off, they went to pick up the head, to proclaim God save the queen. And yeah. The head fell out of his hands because it was a wig.
Can you take 2 minutes?
Just imagine being in the crowd.
Take 2 minutes. That's what I was going to say. It's like, take just a couple of fucking minutes to really pull yourself out of what I just read, and put yourself in that scenario.
Yeah, not only
Schwack! Yeah. Nothing. Schwack! Oh, it's still. Hold on, this is it right here. Schwatting!
And then a dog runs out. You know what I mean? After the third
she has
strike,
a fucking wig on,
and then the guy picks up the head and it just falls. Yeah,
botched is not even a word that I would use for this. Is just fucking horrendous, dude. This is people are gonna have fucking trauma from this, man. I'm
sure they did back in the 16th century.
Can we go back up to the top? I want to see a picture of her face again. Yeah, let's get back up to that beautiful lady. Nice. Yeah, I'd probably wear a wig if my hair looked like that too.
Yeah, little curly ginger.
Yeah, you little fucking. Okay, yeah. So that's I forget whatever the cool nickname was for that one.
This is the Hawaiian one.
Yeah, dude. So this is the Hawaiian skirmish that we spoke about.
Yeah, on Valentine's Day.
Yes. Yeah. So Captain James Cook. Again, our source. You know it. You love it. Wikipedia.org. Here we go. Death of James Cook. On February 14th, 1779, British explorer Captain James Cook, not to be confused with Captain Hook, was killed as he attempted to kidnap, oh, Jesus.
Kuala
Lupe, the ruling chief, Alanui, of the island of Hawaii, and hold him hostage for the return of a cutter.
Type of boat.
Okay. Of a cutter which Hawaiians had stolen. As Cook and his men attempted to take the chief to his ship, they were confronted by a crowd of Hawaiians at Kalika Bay seeking to prevent
Kuala Lumpur
from leaving. In the ensuing confrontation, Cook, 4 British Marines, and 17 Hawaiians were killed. Good God. In January 1778, the year before, during his 3rd Pacific voyage, Cook had become the first known European to visit the Hawaiian Islands. His expedition returned to the islands. Returned to the islands January 1779. What's up?
Well, it says relations between the British and the Hawaiians were initially good as Cook's expedition had arrived during the Makahiki season.
Yeah.
A celebration of fertility and the god Lono, right?
Oh, interesting.
So when he arrived, the Hawaiians called him Lono and treated him with reverence. Scholars divided what they had and considered him like a god, like a deity, as it says here.
That's actually pretty sick.
So
dude.
He shows up and they're like, "Oh, this is a god of fertility,"
Let's
party. Yeah,
what up,
you know what I mean?
They're like, "What up, homie?"
And they were partying with him and all that shit. And then of course, just when the Europeans came to the Americas, a lot of them started to die and get sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then he leaves again.
He was probably handing out some blankets.
Right. I just wanted to fill in that backstory of it didn't cover all that. So
okay, roger that. So then what do we pick up here? Cook's expedition left the bay on February 4th, but were forced to return a week later after one of its ships was damaged in a gale. However, the Makahiki season had ended and tensions between the British and the Hawaiians increased. A series of thefts by Hawaiians and violent reprisals by the British culminated in the theft of the cutter and Cook's attempt to take Kalani'Lupe hostage for its return. We got to come up with a better name than that. After Cook was stabbed and beaten to death in the following affray, his body was dismembered by the Hawaiians and distributed to their chiefs, a mark of respect for a high-ranking adversary. Following reprisals by the British, in which several more Hawaiians were killed, Cook's remains were returned to the British and were buried at sea with full military honors. What the fuck, dude?
Can you imagine being
just a bunch of savages? Fucking.
Can you imagine the British guy, the white guy that had to go to each one of these chiefs and be like, "Yo, can I get that arm back?
Let me get that foot.
Yeah, can I get that torso? Yeah. Yo, can I get that head?" And it's like collecting all 7 of the.
Well, then a fun fact. Well, I guess they only dismembered Cook. A lot of people died in that skirmish, though.
Right.
It was like, get off the Makahiki thing. We'll touch base on that in a second. But yeah, Cook and 4 British Marines were killed.
Yeah, but they took 17 with them. Good
right,
odds.
Yeah, dude, you're crushing it. That's a win in my book.
Right.
However, I wonder if they dismembered any of the Marines, and then if they did, did we mix up a foot here and a leg there? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
real Frankenstein situation.
Yeah, it really didn't clarify. Now go to the Makahiki. You had it pulled up, and I just want to clarify. The Makahiki season is the ancient Hawaiian New Year festival in honor of the god Lono of the Hawaiian religion, which we kind of touched base on.
Right.
And then obviously they thought he was Lono, which thank you for filling in that backstory. Yeah. That helped make a lot more sense.
Yeah, Lono is the god associated with fertility, agriculture, rainfall, music, and peace.
Everybody getting knocked up. Just smooth jazz and bitches getting pregnant.
Something like that.
Yeah, dude. So shout out to Makahiki and Lono. Yeah, man. Poor Cook. Jeez. Yeah. Could you imagine just getting the shit kicked out of you?
Stabbed,
and
then dismembered, like you're some plotter against the crown in Europe.
That's brutal, dude. Did you pick this because of the flags on this one?
I didn't.
So are we on to?
If I would have saw the flags, I would have picked a different article.
Is this Felix? Mm-hmm. Felix Faure. Okay. So, anyways, we're moving on to death number 4. This is per Franco Files Anonymies.com. Yeah, that's tough. Okay, so anyways, I attempted. Links will be in the description so we don't get sued. And this was last updated on 12/1/2024. The fatal mistress of Felix Faure. I'm going to go with Faure because that sounds right. France is in turmoil over Francis.
I don't know.
Francis Hollande's new love affair. While we have just buried Ariel Sharon, the former prime minister, who died from a fatal stroke he suffered in his office about 8 years ago. There seems to be no connection between the cases, but a brief look into French history can provide us with an interesting connection between the two. The lover who killed me. To do this, we must go back about 115 years in time to February 16th, 1899. President of France at the time, Felix Faure, was there until now had been known mainly for his opinions on French cars. What a stupid thing to be known for.
Stinky.
Yeah, what a stupid thing to be fucking known for.
He just basically complained about their their automotive industry and anticipating many generations of Israelis who thought exactly the same thing.
And so he was supported. He was known for that, and the support he gave to the French army during the Dreyfus affair. However, that day, Felix Faure, I'm just going to say Felix. Yeah. Felix would leave an indelible mark on the history of France, and not necessarily on his own volition. It all started when the president, who was apparently bored with his job, decided to summon his mistress, Marguerite Steinhale, to an, quote, urgent presidential meeting, end quote, at the Elysee Palace. After the lady, now she's just after the lady, after this bitch got here, the doors to his office were closed, and the office staff were asked to, quote, vacate the premises, end quote. However, sometime later, screams of terror were heard from the president's office. His personal assistant, who was the first to enter the office, found the following picture. Mrs. Steinhale was only partially clothed while the president lay dying on the couch. The doctors had no choice but to diagnose a fatal stroke, which caused a massive brain hemorrhage, and the president died that evening, thus saving France millions of francs. I don't know why. I don't get it.
I don't know.
Why did they save him millions? Anyways, that same day, rumors began to circulate about what really happened in the presidential office. The main rumor was that the president had suffered a stroke while his mistress was performing oral sex on him. And this created quite a few vicious wordplays, which in order to understand, it is necessary to know that the verb pomper in French slang means to receive oral sex. What the fuck? The future president, Clemenceau,
it's a lot of whatever, saying that he died trying to live like Julius Caesar, but died like Pompey.
Pompey.
And then she was nicknamed Le Pompey for one, or something like that.
Fenubre.
Right.
The name of the shops located near cemeteries where funeral bouquets are sold. However, if we use the slang interpretation of the verb pomper, her nickname can also be translated as fatal blowjob.
Yeah. I had to include that one. It was too good not to.
That's brutal, dude. What did you? I don't even know what you nicknamed this one, but I like it. I like this one. I like that one a lot.
I also nicknamed it to the side like Deadly Head.
Oh, I like that. Deadhead, Deadly Head. Nice, dude. Okay, fifth and final.
This is the Toxic Lady.
Yeah, fifth and final, Toxic Lady. So if you're just now joining us, you have missed 4 really horrific deaths so far. And we're going into the fifth and final here. Here we go.
Same source.
Wow. You know it. You love it. Yeah, different from the last, but 3 out of the 5 ain't bad, ladies and gentlemen. Wikipedia.org. Here we go. Death of Gloria Ramirez. Gloria Cecilia Ramirez, born January 11, 1963, passed away February 19, 1994. Damn. I was born. I was a part of this. Nice. She was an American woman who was dubbed the, quote, toxic lady or, quote, toxic woman by the media when several hospital workers became ill after airborne exposure to her body and blood. Ramirez had been admitted to the emergency room suffering from late-stage cervical cancer. While treating Ramirez, 3 hospital workers fainted and others experienced symptoms such as shortness of breath and muscle spasms. 5 workers required hospitalization, one of whom remained in an intensive care unit for 2 weeks. Good God. Ramirez herself died from complications related to her cancer shortly after arriving at the hospital. The incident was initially considered to be a case of mass hysteria. An investigation by Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory suggested that Ramirez had been self-administering dimethyl sulfoxide, or DMSO, as a pain treatment. The oxygen from the mask provided by the paramedics during her transport to the hospital most likely converted the DMSO into dimethyl sulfate, DMS, a highly toxic and carcinogenic alkylating agent. Although dimethyl sulfate has a very low vapor pressure at body temperature, it is believed to have transitioned to a gaseous state due to the vacuum inside the vacutainer. I don't know what that thing is. This is similar to how water boils at a lower temperature when exposed to lower pressure. This theory has been endorsed by the Riverside Coroner's Office and published in the Forensic Science International. All my fucking science nerds out there, dude, get in here and get some, dude.
Right.
A lot of science happening in there. So do you know about that? How like water boils at like 220 degrees Fahrenheit or something like that,
Something
right?
crazy.
So, but if you put water in a cup in a closed container and you decrease the pressure in that sealed container and then add a heat source to the water, it will boil before 220, and that's kind of what they're talking
I just know
about.
you can add salt and it boils at a hotter temperature.
Yeah, and that's ionization. That's a little bit different.
Yeah. But that's wild, right?
Yo, crazy
I thought it was funny that like when they add oxygen to it or whatever, that it highly toxic and carcinogenic. So she was just like spreading her cancer.
Yeah. And honestly, if you think about it, if she's taking this dimethyl sulfoxide and then, as she's intaking oxygen into her body, you're exacerbating the cancer that you already have,
Really?
right? Think about it. If it causes a gaseous fume that can
when
harm
mixed with
you.
oxygen, and she's breathing in oxygen all the
so
time.
as you're pulling it in, you're adding oxygen into the system. You're just exacerbating your cancer. This is probably why her death was probably very horrific.
Yeah.
That was probably very awful to go through. Very, very cool. This might be my number one, dude.
Are you serious? I just threw it in there because it was crazy.
I like it because it's scientific, but you know me, I'm like a big science guy. I'm like Bill Nye, dude.
Yeah.
So yeah, dude. That's a lot. That's a lot to take in. That's a lot of. So folks at home, if you just went through this together with us, I mean,
yeah, put your ranking in the comments.
Yeah, seriously. Or if you've heard of one of these five, we'll cruise through them here in a second, a brief summation. But if you've heard of one of these deaths before, or maybe you're familiar with that time period, or maybe that locale, or whatever,
or you know how to speak Hawaiian.
Yeah, if you know anything about Malika, or however you say half the shit that was in that article for Captain James Cook.
I think Captain James Cook is number 5 for me. Or do we want to do a brief summary real fast?
Yeah, let me run through these real quick. So, and again, leave anything in the comments, dude, if you know anything about these folks or places or time frames or whatever. So, running through them in the order that we read them, we've got Michael Malloy, the unkillable man, the insurance fraud.
Yeah.
We've got Mary, Queen of Scots, the botched execution. She was wearing a wig. We've got Captain James Cook, the Hawaiian skirmish, where some Marines died and a boat was stolen. Then we've got Felix Faure, the Grand Mort.
Yeah.
That gentleman died receiving head. Killer head. There's your note.
Yep.
And then finally, we ended on, honestly, a very sciencey one with Gloria Ramirez.
Actually, Killer Head's
lady.
probably 5 for me.
No, really?
I mean, it's just not as like big as the others.
And then the years in that same order were 1933, 1587, 1779, 1899, and 1994. Big shoots to the 90s babies out there. Okay.
I mean,
let's get through
5
this.
or 4.
Let's start here. We'll go from bottom to top,
Right.
like we did last month. So you're saying
either the Hawaiian skirmish or Killer Head for 5.
I don't know. They both kind of low key, very mid for me. I was shocked.
I think like the head one is lower tier, so I think we put that as 5. Just because there's more jokes to be made with the Hawaiian skirmish of like the fact that like he was celebrated as a god, and people started dying, and then he came back and they stole like a boat, and then he goes to war with them over it, and then they like beat him and kill him, and then like some poor guy has to go to all the chiefs to collect the parts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that poor bastard.
so I think
I'm with that. I'm with that. Yeah, Deadhead is 5. So Felix Faure from 1899. He's coming in at 5th.
Right.
Then we got Captain James Cook from 1779 visiting from England to the Hawaiian Islands.
Right.
Coming in at 4th.
This is where I'm going to argue.
This is where it's going to get dicey for me. Okay, let me just say my thoughts.
Okay.
I'm going... God damn. The execution one's rough, dude. You're going to love this. I'm going to go Gloria Ramirez at 3.
Yep, I will completely agree with that. Because she just really technically died of cancer.
That's what you want.
Cool story. Other people got sick. People passed out.
It's cooler if you're into science.
Yeah.
It's cool for all my science, chemistry fucking nerds out there. Don't use that for a pain. Yeah, right. Don't fucking do that.
But like in reality, she just died of cancer and like 5 other people passed out and got sick.
Yeah. Well, they might have cancer now. We don't know yet. So yeah, I'm gonna go 1994 Gloria Ramirez coming in at coming in with the bronze. Now
this is
for
where
the silver. Tough. For the silver.
This is rough.
I will physically arm wrestle you for this.
This one's tough. It is, though.
No. I don't think it's even a question.
Really?
I don't. I think that the story of Iron Mike is phenomenal. Don't
I agree.
Get it twisted. Hardcore silver. I love a botched execution.
Yeah, I'll probably agree with you on that.
Think about the comedic.
I just, like being in the crowd.
Post-traumatic stress.
Yeah. Like Iron Mike is like a crazy story. You know what I mean? Like, like they tried to kill him so many times.
Yeah, dude.
You know, so many times.
So we are both on the same page. Yeah. Unkillable Iron Mike is coming in with the silver.
Yeah.
And we're going lady with a wig and a fucking shih tzu in her crotch for gold. So there you go, folks. There you have it. We'll run through the order real quick. So coming in first place, Mary, Queen of Scots, botched execution, hiding a dog in her cooch, also wearing a wig. Took 3 schwacks to take that head off.
Right.
She got a big neck.
Yeah.
Coming in second place, Michael Malloy, the unkillable man. Super dope story. Poor bastard looked like shit when he finally died. Coming in third, 1994, Gloria Ramirez. For all my chemistry nerds out there, treated herself for pain meds with this dimethyl stuff, the DMSO, exacerbated cancer. She died, made a bunch of people sick. Coming in at 4th place, Captain James Cook. Visiting the Hawaiian Islands from England.
Treated like a god and dismembered later.
Treated like a god and then got to
see God.
Yeah, bro.
Had to collect all 6 pieces of them to be buried.
Dismembered.
Like a Dragon Ball.
And then the fucking pompous Pompeii, dude. The
killer
head. Mr. Felix Faure, 1899. Yeah, dude. That's a good run. That's a good run, man. I'll tell you what. That's a solid selection. Yeah. It's a solid. Honestly, who did we put at 5? Felix.
Yeah,
I'm flipping and flopping. I feel like Captain Cook could have gone 5 too.
Yeah, but his story's
a little more impressive.
Yeah, I think actually.
Yeah, it's a little more impressive.
Yeah.
So yeah, if all these links will be in the description along with like their names and then the link that we used for reading off today. So get in there, check it out. Or if there's any like history buffs or like some serious death nerds out there that want to like one up us and correct us on some stuff, feel free to hop in the comments. Do that, man. I don't have anything else, man. I really don't.
That's been February Fatales.
Yeah, that is indeed another thrilling episode of the Day's Grimm. Deaths of the Month episode. February Fatale. My name is Brian Michael Day.
My name is Thomas Graham.
Thank you guys so much. Like, subscribe, share, tell your friends.
Another one bites the dust.
Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. Ow. Another one bites the dust. Hey, hey. Another one bites the dust. Hey, hey, hey. There are plenty of ways you can hurt a man and bring him to the ground. You can beat him, you can cheat him, you